you struggling in love, or are you searching for your true soulmate? Perhaps many of us yearn for a sweet romance and a fulfilling marriage. Yet in reality, we often encounter countless setbacks and heartbreaks time and again. The journey to understand love and learn how to love is also a path filled with many lessons, designed to temper you and help you grow. By drawing wisdom from your own romantic experiences or from observations in life, you can enrich your understanding of love through classic books. There is a novel famously known as the Encyclopedia of Love, which the New York Times hailed as the most beautiful love story in human history. It is the first novel by Gabriel García Márquez, written right after he received the Nobel Prize, and also the work he was most satisfied with, Love in the Time of Cholera. This book tells the story of a love that spans more than half a century. Florentino, a poor young man, falls deeply in love with Fermina, a beautiful girl from a wealthy family. It is precisely the difference in their social status and the gap between rich and poor that prevents them from being together. Fermina marries another man, while Florentino tirelessly strives to improve himself to win back the true love of his life. And after 51 years, through many ups and downs, they finally find their way back to each other. It's a truly magnificent love story that transcends the test of time, isn't it? However, behind that radiant love, the most brutal aspect of real life is revealed, forcing all of us to reflect. Love cannot be built solely on sincerity. It also requires the compatibility of comprehensive strength. If you and your partner cannot truly be in sync, then no matter how intense or passionate the love, it can slowly wither over time. If you're not good enough, loving anyone is useless explores this idea through Gabriel García Márquez's famous novel, Love in the Time of Cholera. Florentino, the protagonist of the story, is the illegitimate son of a wealthy and powerful shipping company founder, but he is never acknowledged or brought into the light. All support for Florentino from his father is kept secret. Then, one day, his father suddenly passes away. His financial support is cut off, forcing him to drop out of school and seek a living working at the post office. During a telegraph delivery, Florentino encounters Fermina. Her plum blossom eyes accidentally glance at him, making Florentino's heart race. To attract Fermina's attention, every morning he would sit on a garden bench near her house, pretending to read a volume of poetry and ceaselessly write letters to her. In his love letters, he would tuck in flower petals etched with tiny verses. In the middle of the night, he would often stand near her house, playing his melodious music to lull her to sleep. Gradually, Fermina grew fond of this young man. Their relationship quickly blossomed, and Florentino began to propose to Fermina. However, everything turned against their expectations. Because Fermina was still studying when she fell in love, she was disciplined by the school and expelled. Her father, Jeremiah Daza, flew into a rage, confronted Florentino, and yelled, "Don't stand in my daughter's way." In the eyes of a newly rich merchant with little education, his daughter was a trump card for his future, while Florentino was merely an illegitimate child, truly a thorn in his side. Thus, Fermina's father used distance to separate the lovers. He took Fermina away from their hometown. However, no matter where Fermina went, Florentino would always write love letters to her. Seeing that he couldn't separate the lovers, the father had no choice but to return the right to decide her marriage to his daughter. After a long separation, Fermina met Florentino again. But now, in her eyes, Florentino was a poor, ugly, and pathetic man, like a vagrant, completely different from the prince's charming image she once held. She suddenly realized that the love she was obsessed with was merely an illusion. Therefore, she decisively broke up with Florentino. There's a line in the book, "The weak will never be able to enter the kingdom of love, for it is a harsh and stingy kingdom." Women will only yield to men of substance, because only such men can provide them with a sense of security. They long for that security to face life's challenges. A thatched hut and 2 golden hearts is not bad, but one day, those involved may suffer pain in the face of reality's challenges. Florentino was intelligent and talented. However, his weakness at that time was like a nail pinning him to the bottom of society. Although he tried his best to show his loyalty, his lack of personal development for many years was a fatal blow to his love story. This also holds true for many people. When you like someone, you might abandon all principles to win their favor, like a moth drawn to a flame in pursuit of love. But in the end, when your feelings aren't reciprocated, you'll feel disappointed and let down. Why is it so unfair when I truly give my sincere feelings and love someone so much? But you don't realize that the real problem lies with you. You lack the necessary qualities, you are not good enough. No matter how much you love, that love cannot sustain the future of two people. Behind the curtain of love, daily necessities are always practical issues. This is what anyone who rushes into love and marriage must confront. Love is a marathon. After breaking up with Florentino, Fermina fell gravely ill. She suffered from vomiting and diarrhea. Her father, fearing she had cholera, invited Dr. Urbino to examine her. When Dr. Urbino first saw Fermina, he was immediately overwhelmed by her beauty. This scene was witnessed by her father, and an idea immediately sparked in his mind. Dr. Urbino came from an aristocratic background, possessed exceptional medical skills, and beyond saving lives, he was also involved in welfare activities, making him highly influential locally. If he married his daughter to him, she would not only be free from worry about food and clothing for the rest of her life, but also have a solid foundation. So, the father diligently fostered their connection, and the doctor began to date Fermina. After meeting, Fermina felt that although the doctor wasn't very romantic, he had good prospects and was very attentive to her, making him a worthy person to entrust her life to. Thus, she finally accepted Dr. Urbino's proposal. Some say that marriage is simply an exchange, each side taking what they need. Fermina's beauty and Dr. Urbino's charisma perfectly describe this saying. It's like a transaction. Wherever he went, if he brought Fermina along, her beauty would make the doctor the enviable center of attention. As for Fermina, she was no longer merely the daughter of a merchant. She had become the wife of the famous Dr. Urbino, a woman of social standing, enjoying wealth and prestige. But beauty eventually faces aging. A face full of youthful vitality gradually turns into dry, wrinkled leaves. The slender figure of yesterday is no longer as graceful. At this point, the balance in their initial exchange seems to be slowly breaking. As Fermina grows older, her elegance gradually fades. She becomes a housewife living in her husband's shadow. The never-ending housework leaves her exhausted. Meanwhile, Dr. Urbino's reputation grows and his horizons broaden. He then loses interest in Fermina's aging face, even having affairs with younger women. Although he eventually returns to his family, the couple now experiences increasing conflicts, frequently arguing over trivial matters. Fermina spent the rest of her life in that heavy atmosphere. In the novel, there is a line, "Love is a game, and you must always maintain equality with your partner. Only then can you love each other for a long time, because if one partner is too strong, it becomes tiring, and if one is too weak, it becomes boring." Indeed, love is a marathon. When two people fall in love and get married, they start at the same starting line. But whether they can reach the finish line together depends on each person's overall capabilities. If two people are on the same frequency and achieve a state of balance, life will be very harmonious. But when one side is not strong enough and the other develops more and more, the distance between them will grow. If there is not enough tolerance and love, the stronger person will take control in the relationship, while the weaker one will passively accept their life. In the book, How to Make Anyone Fall in Love with You, a renowned expert on personal communication and relationship issues mentions a crucial factor for maintaining love, the principle of equal value. It sounds absurd to commercialize love like it's a market commodity, doesn't it? But the truth is, it is. Researchers tell us that the happiest relationships are always those that achieve a state of balance. The author of this book listed 6 factors that people can use to choose a partner and maintain their romantic relationships: appearance, wealth, social status, knowledge, social grace, and personality or character. You can rate yourself and your loved one on a scale of 1 to 10 for each of these 6 factors. See if you have similar scores for each category with the person you love. Or, even if you're not equal, the qualities and abilities you have that your partner lacks, or vice versa, can complement and neutralize each other, allowing you both to adjust back to a position I call the equilibrium point. So, remember, to run to the finish line together, two people must have comparable endurance. If flowers bloom, butterflies and bees will surely come. At that time, when Florentino was heartbroken upon hearing that Fermina had married, he was too sad to speak, stopped eating and drinking, and cried all night. Later, he learned a painful lesson and began to strive to change his circumstances. He went to his uncle's company to apply for a job, passed rigorous tests, and finally earned his uncle's trust, becoming a key trainee in the company. Florentino's career took off like a kite in the wind, but his emotional state remained like a wanderer without a destination, because a special place in his heart was always reserved for Fermina. Even though he had loved 622 other lovers consecutively, even filling 25 notebooks with their detailed contact information. However, that joy was merely a fleeting drop of dew, quickly evaporating, because it could never replace his unforgettable first love. So, restarting with Fermina became Florentino's sole goal for the rest of his life. Florentino took great care of his body. Even in old age, he maintained his energy and robust physique. In his career, he excelled at everything with admirable ability, and he eventually succeeded in becoming the wealthy, powerful, and healthy president of the company. Florentino finally waited for the crucial moment. Dr. Urbino passed away. On the very first day Fermina became a widow, before she could even wipe away her tears of sorrow, Florentino appeared. He expressed the love he had kept hidden for nearly half a century for Fermina, but she angrily chased him away. Of course, he was not discouraged. He took up his pen again and wrote love letters. His letters were like a sedative for Fermina, and at this point, Fermina finally escaped the shadow of widowhood. Following Florentino's advice, she decided to take a cruise on a ship belonging to Florentino's company. On this journey, Florentino arranged for the chief steward to serve Fermina, and amidst the clouds, sky, and sea, he created an unthinkable love, separated from the world. The elderly couple had lost half their lives but finally reunited, rekindling the love of their youth. Someone asked if Fermina truly felt moved by his love. If Florentino wasn't the capable man he was now, but a poor, ugly old man who suddenly came and told Fermina he loved her forever, would the outcome be the same? The answer is clearly no. In reality, Fermina would never choose Florentino again if he remained as weak as he once was. This is the reality of life. She decided to board the ship with Florentino because she now knew that his feelings were deep enough, and his capabilities brought her a sense of security. Plant a phoenix tree, and a phoenix will surely visit. If flowers bloom profusely, butterflies and bees will surely come looking for them. When you haven't yet achieved what you truly desire, the first thing to do is to look at yourself. Instead of being depressed and pessimistic, it's better to calm your mind and temper yourself through practical efforts to improve. Then, there's no need to cling or try to please anyone. You'll be like a blooming flower, naturally exuding a fragrance that attracts those who love you. Florentino's love, under the pen of Gabriel García Márquez, is like the frenzy of cholera in America at that time. It's contagious, it kills, and it is also reborn. For Florentino, this pursuit of love, lasting over half a century, was like an obsession he couldn't let go of. In reality, what he was too fixated on was the fact that he had been rejected before. Only by proving his capabilities and winning back Fermina could he heal the pain in his heart and truly step out of the shadow of failure, reclaiming his long-lost self-esteem. Florentino's story is very much like many of us. Loving someone, giving our all to pursue them, but being as small and humble as dust, and in the end, unable to escape the fate of being rejected by someone who doesn't love us. You might drain your youth and passion, but receive no genuine affection in return. However, the problem will always lie with us. An author once said that among all responsibilities in the world, the most fundamental responsibility is to become yourself, to live with a unique personality and value. Don't try to chase a horse when you are not strong enough. Instead of spending time chasing that horse, plant grass yourself. When spring is warm and flowers bloom, the horse will naturally be attracted and come to you. At both ends of love's scale, don't let your undeveloped personality, ability, and conditions make you unbalanced. The premise of love is to first become an excellent version of yourself. Only by continuously pushing yourself to shine, illuminating yourself, can you ignite the love of your life. The better you are, the person you like will naturally come to you. The benevolent see benevolence, the wise see wisdom. On the same issue, each person will have a different perspective. With the same book, everyone will have their own understanding. Regardless, before and during loving anyone, love yourself first. Learn to make yourself better. Because when you change, you will become more excellent. You will have enough compassion and know how to truly love. You will give unconditional love instead of turning affection into some kind of exchange. What we need to do is achieve and maintain a state of balance in love. Balance is the best state to sustain lasting affection. I really like this saying, learn to be human first. If you cannot provide shelter from the sun and rain for others, no one will elevate you. Remember, as long as you get better, other things will gradually improve. To love others, learn to fill yourself first. The way you love yourself is also how you teach others to love you. I hope all of us can be sincere people, using our own excellence to experience a beautiful and meaningful love in this life.